took me 5 years to earn my first $1 million. And the last 5 months, I made $1 million every month. And so whenever I feel stuck, I come back to this video to realize that, especially in the entrepreneurial path, sometimes 2 weeks can outperform a whole decade. But let me give you some context. So coming from a very small German village, I decided at the age of 18 to become an entrepreneur. And obviously there are not so many role models around, and I was traveling a lot back and forth, starting studying, dropping out of university, having ideas, waking up in the morning, not that excited about them anymore, and just trying to become an entrepreneur without having the right railways. And so I sat down, wrote 100 handwritten letters, which has been one of the best decisions I've ever made and will definitely journal about, and started to work for one. And through this, finally, I found my co-founder, and together we founded Eddo, my very first startup. And Eddo was a software as a service business. It was more a manual business, but I claimed it was a SaaS. And so this, through pure sales force, at the end of the day, scaled to 7 figures ARR bootstrapped after 4 years, and within the same year got acquired by private equity. So I was sitting there netting $1 million and realizing that I was way slower than I thought I will be. And I pretty much understood the statement for the very first time that we heavily overestimate what we can achieve in 2 years, but we also heavily underestimate what we can achieve in 10 years. In 2020, what I didn't realize is that I started to build an infrastructure for myself. I founded LS&C, my future family office, which invests in real estate and digital assets, but I also founded INAI, another software as a service business, this time managing all the mistakes I made in the beginning, scaling to 7 figures within 2 years, and also got acquired after 4 years this year, basically, by Flyer Alarm in Europe. And so all of this made me able to invest a clean $1 million last year in November, again in crypto. If you check on LinkedIn, I think in 2017, I documented for the very first time that I'm buying Bitcoin and Ethereum. In Germany, you had this awesome concept that if you're holding something longer than a year, it's tax-free. And so I basically never sold, really, I just accumulated over the years. In November last year, I said, because the last 6 months, the last year have been so efficient, so effective. I moved to Dubai, a lot of things happened. I probably think the whole scale changed on how we're doing business. So I set up another $1 million and said, this time I will do it a little bit more speculative. And I put the $1 million in November into a portfolio which has an asymmetrical risk profile. What I mean by that is there were single protocols or single projects which has the capacity to outperform my whole portfolio. And so I had the portfolio, I let it run. And so if I'm looking back, I see that we are sitting at $6 million at the moment, and that we probably will end the bull run somewhere between 10 to $18 million, I guess. At the end of the day, I found myself at night looking at this portfolio and realizing, hey, it could be so simple. I mean, just having $1 million sitting in a crypto portfolio, and it runs and earns millions of dollars. And then I fell into a trap. I also was wondering, well, is Usain Bolt earning the millions of dollars for sprinting 10 seconds? Or is he actually earning the millions of dollars for being prepared, for showing up every day, eating clean, being incredibly disciplined? Would I ever have invested $1 million if I couldn't bear the loss, and if I wouldn't have the right setup to actually say, well, I will bet this $1 million, and if it's gone, it's all right, it will hurt, but I will get it back somehow. And at this very moment, I was feeling that all the dots were connecting looking backwards. And sometimes if I was working on something, or if I gained knowledge where I thought it's not really needed, at the end of the day, there has been a certain moment in life when exactly this area of knowledge leveraged my outcome. And yes, it is true, I heavily overestimated what I can achieve in 2 years, which made me feel anxious, and I thought I'm slower. I compared myself to other entrepreneurs. I felt that I should be somewhere already, while others with 22 or 23 were earning hundreds of millions because they raised on billion-dollar valuation rounds. I was still figuring out how to optimize my ARR. I'm realizing that I also heavily underestimated what I can achieve in 10 years. And so the last 1 year, especially the last 1.5 years, have been incredible. But in any case, having the trust that the domino I'm currently working on, will fall eventually, searching for the right domino and enjoying the process while I'm working on it is a mindset I want to keep and conserve for myself. And also, whenever I feel that I'm stuck, I need to remember that, as I said, 2 weeks, a month, 6 months can outperform a whole decade. And so this journal has probably an end here, but I want to give a add-on, which is just something for me. There are different type of risks, and sometimes concentration is better than diversification. I learned that I need to have my eggs in different baskets, but sometimes if you know a basket very well, putting all the eggs into it and watch it very carefully can be more effective than diversifying. I also realized that risk is personal. While others can't sleep and while others have emotional instability by betting on something, by being heavily invested in entrepreneurial ventures, by just trying to leverage something, others can sleep like babies. And for me, I need to make sure that I always have most of my assets into a stable category where I know whatever I do, I will return between 7 and 9% a year and it will grow in value. And if I have built this infrastructure properly, I can put 10%, 20% of my net worth into more speculative bets. And if I do so, the more speculative bets need an asymmetrical payoff curve. What I mean by that is there need to be single protocols in which could have the potential to outlever the overall portfolio. And by this being said, I will close my first journal. I will update this video after 6 months and 12 months, I guess, because I'm just interested what happens with the portfolio. Maybe it's not at $6 million anymore, or it is at 10 or 15. We will see. And so I keep in mind that I'm not too fast, I'm not too slow. I'm exactly sitting at the spot where I should sit.